Hello, and welcome to Star Thought, Church of the Free Mind. And we're back. What's going on, everybody? This is like it's gonna be any trolling here, okay? This is you know, good thought stuff. Today, I said I was gonna do a Sunday thing, and of all days, the Astarte Day. Jesus, Easter basket day. So um you know, lots of good intention and good light and good energy towards all religions, all people, all cultures. Um, I have come to know many things of myself, and I am here to help. Um this show is about, you know, knowing things and being able to uh, explain them, and on your own, being able to complete these things that are of a energetic or spiritual nature. Okay, that was One Day as a Lion with a song, If You Fear Dying. Now, One Day as a Lion is very much on the awakened path thing with the people. This awakened path, I'm going to tell you right now, is shared by so many, 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 many groups, by religions, by people that are really are truly know what's going on, that are aware and cognizant. Um, People that are spiritual, that are aware, people that are, don't say that word, say energetic or whatever. They say, new age or something like that, or and there's a lot of people that are in so many that they realize where they're at, and they remain where they at, and they begin to talk about their awakening or their self-discovery. And it's a beautiful thing, a very beautiful thing. Um, I don't know. I guess we are all, you could say, from the stars. Um, Really, what that means is we're from Earth. We're humans. It means that somewhere along the line in existence of the Earth, um, there manifested greatness in people because of whatever we're made from. Okay, we're also made of something, some type of, you know, powerful energy in the celestial, in the outer space, like perhaps stars, stardust. But for to say that it's actually normal, yes, tons and tons of stardust, tons of um, sediments and elements and fibers, get into our our planet from a long time ago, when things were natural and how things came in. Being that there was no industrial revolution back then, when the planet is being hit with all this dust from all this stuff, our bodies must have been naturally taking it in. What did this do? Um, I don't know why, but we are empowered. I don't know if that is true, though. And I don't know if that's possible or if that's the reason. But I can tell you one thing. I can tell you that a human has meridians and chakras. We were never taught about that. We were never taught about that when we were kids. And we wonder why now. We wonder what it is. And, growing up, I was told this is demonic. This is demons. You're not allowed to talk about this. You're not allowed to touch these things. And don't look at it. Don't, because your life is going to be destroyed. I'm just, it was just funny how, you know, that's what the Archon wanted. It wanted people to, um, go through what they went through and then turn around and you see society being built in such a way that that's what I was told. I'm almost 50 years old. It's the year 2023. And when I was a kid in the 80s, my parents were very Christian. And they didn't let me even say that I'm an astrological sign. Uh, I'm a Pisces. I'm a Cancer. They're like, you're none of that. And I'll give you a slap. And it's not just that; it's all the things that we were told. No, we were told don't do this. We were told this isn't. spiritually healthy, you know. And then we saw, what did we see? We saw all our friends, families, like doing amazing, that were not of the same culture and religion. And our friends, we would be like, you know, like, you know, I was I was invited as a kid to my friend um this thing, and they were Indian. Sorry, well, yeah, Indian. They were Hindu, or yeah, Hindu. And I was so scared because of my religion, and I even got dressed up in my suit, and I had my winter jacket on. It's cold out. It's the winter time, or whatever. I don't know. I can't remember what. And I remember this. I remember going to the house, and his front door was open, and all his friends, all his family was there, and he saw me, and I looked up, and I got so scared, and I was like, and I just was like, I went back home. I was, and it's funny because I wouldn't really do that. I don't know why I was scared. Um, but anyway, I went back, and I made amends with the family, and I told them I was scared. They laughed. They said, "Don't worry," and they weren't messed up to me. And then one day in California, I went to the Kali Temple, and I experienced, like, it's just like going to church. I'm telling you, because you know what it is. When I say it's just like going to church, I mean, obviously, it's a different culture and a different thing, but it's not different. If you want to, if you were describing mechanics, you would say, "Oh, it's kind of the same mechanics," but all the religions do, and that's what people don't see. People don't understand that. And so, one day I was at in California at the Kali Temple. I think it's Laguna Beach, and I was looking around, and then I went into the temple, and I think you're supposed to take your shoes off, and I took my shoes off, and I went in, and I I just kind of like got down and just sit and was quiet and just was thinking. And something, and I don't know what it was that drew me to Cali. And when I was there, I had these mala beads, and I was rubbing them, but you have to know the religion and follow it. But I was same as I am now, like long hair, dressed like a you know whatever, like comfortable. And I got my like Adidas on, my high socks, baggy shorts, yeah, long hair. I was like, I didn't care, but I wasn't like trying to be weird or whatever. I was just trying to feel it, because I felt it. I felt it, and I was being drawn to it, and I kept thinking why, and all these Hindu things were popping up all over me, all over around me. And I was learning things like mudras and breathing and healing. And when the healing proved itself, that's when I knew it was real, because I said, you know what? It's happening. Why would I not be happy of a healing? Because it doesn't come from in the name of Jesus, you know? So I began to really get serious, because at the end of that time, I was there with a friend, and it was like a few hour. I was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But I was there, and then I was like, all right, it's time to go. And this guy came out. He was like a, a Hindu priest, or a Hindu, whatever they are, whatever the name they are. And he gave me a card, and it had Kali's face on it. He goes, um, Kali, her energy is around you. And I was like, wow, I love her. She's right on my desk. Beautiful. I love Kali. Um, how do I believe in these beings? I believe that first of all, when you pass, if you were the type of person to help people on Earth, um, sometimes the human soul or spirit or whatever stays, and it goes around helping people. And sometimes it leaves, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it stays the whole time. And there's a thing that people think that these spirits are like these people who pass. That they, oh, I was left behind. That's so. Oh my God. The whole reason why you it's I don't know what it is, and I don't know how it goes because I never died before, and I don't know if this is really true, but I could tell you that's how I feel. And that is this: I think that when a person dies, if they're meant to help people, they're gonna stay on Earth. To stay on Earth is a punishment. I don't know if anybody's controlling a punishment and rewards. I think it's just how you know, you if you built energy on Earth a certain way, it's gonna be that way when you die. I'm telling you, and whatever you have to do, you're gonna go through it, and your soul may leave the planet, may not. As far as oh, you're being punished. I don't know. I think it's relearning things. That's what I think it is. I think when you die, you relearn what you had a problem with. Whatever you had an issue with on Earth, whatever you had an issue with, that's what you're gonna relearn. And there's no going to hell or going this. It's you're going somewhere to relearn. Um, is it gonna be a pretty nice place? I don't know. I think I've seen a place and it was kind of dark and you could see trees, but they were not green. And so there was a sun, but it was like amber and everything was dark. Uh, but the people, they weren't suffering or they weren't upset. They were just walking around talking and doing things. And I don't know if that's true or not. But if that's true, that shit makes way more sense than all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Because as far as the dead are concerned, um, I don't know how I came about to be so brave to be involved with esoteric and all this stuff. The dead, it's scary. It's scary shit. Because I'm gonna tell you something. When I was a kid, this shit scared the shit out of me. I'm obviously not scared now, but it is a scary thing. People are scared and they look at me like I'm crazy. Or they're like, oh God. And it's science and biological. Because when you start to figure out that it's scientific and biological, then you start to question all the shit that you had growing up and why this and why didn't you tell me? Why wasn't I told this? Why? You know why? Because they didn't want you to know. They want you to stay down. You know? As soon as my body hits with an ailment, in 15 minutes I can remove it from my body. Just with my mind. Okay? And how, oh my God, I have 37,000 demons running through my hand because it does that thing and it takes away sickness. But it was only because of the demons. It's demons. I was in Michael's, pattern store. They got all kinds of arts and crafts and stuff. I love that place because I make jewelry, right? So I was in there, and this was like 7, 8 years ago, and this lady's like, we start talking about like spiritual things, and she goes, "Oh, I like healing." She goes, "Oh, only healing from God." I said, "What?" She goes, "Oh, only healing from angels." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, I don't know about healing from God or healing from angels, but I heal, and she was like, "That's demons." She was mad. She was so mad. She started like poking my arm in the astral. And I was just looking at her like, yo, you better chill out. And it's real. It's people hateful and crazy mind work. And that's why a lot of people, majority of people, you know what? I don't want to get involved. I don't even care. And they say, I don't want to know. I don't care. That's fine. But if we continue to follow in the lifestyle of the unknown, then we're never gonna reach that true utopic, life, and not a utopia from evil or from archons or from racists or from, those type of people. A real utopic life, a real utopia, you know? That's what with the whole idea of getting to, because that's what was here in the original Earth. In the original Earth, that was utopia. That was heaven. That was everything. The highest technology, the peaceful, the naturalness, plus technology. They don't tell you that because they're like, oh, it either had to been one or the other, Chris. It was either indigenous or it was, as you say, high technology. It's both. It was both because the people that were on this earth created that technology. If you look at in Guatemala, they have this picture of a Mayan warrior or Mayan soldier or Mayan something like that, and he's sitting on a rocket, and it's got pedals, it's got gadgets, it's got levers and buttons, and you could tell it's meant to take off. But anyway, and that was a long time. That was the ancient times, the ancient times, in Kemet, which the new name is Egypt, but in Kemet they had the original technology. Like if you think about the movie Atlantis, and then you think about a movie like Tron, and you put them together, right? The streets of gold and the streets of Egypt were all gold. Okay, it was all gold. It was gold and gold and gold and gold, all types of gold. But it was more like the kingdom of the inner kingdom of Osset and Osar, which they named, the Archon named it Isis and Osiris, and that is how that those people say it. But we don't say that because that's not their real names. Their real name is Osset. It's really Osei and Osar. Osei is Auset, and Osar is Osiris. Anyway, that's that. They had the highest technology. They had the highest technology in Kemet, where it is now called Egypt, and Guatemala, and in many places they even have I don't think it's South Vietnamese or somewheres like that, and it has pyramids, and they also had the highest technology over there. And all the beings, they were black. They were blackest beings. Okay, and the reason why we're brown is because of the Archon invasion, which destroyed the land of the North Pole, in turn causing us to because it was Argotha. Argotha became the moon. It was angry and it changed in seasons. It caused the earth to have seasons, caused people to die, caused the highest technology to go away, and it was the start of all the after the destruction. What happens? They say order comes. Well, the only order they can get was the indigenous. From day one. So there was no tribe. There was people, and they were people, but they didn't create their own people and tribe for a long time. They had to readjust. They had to relearn. They had to redo everything. But people dying at the set. They were dying. People said, "Oh, how we," and they had to figure it out. They never killed animals and ate. They never did those things. Okay? They were naturalists, and they ate fruits and berries and nuts and ate everything and made things and did things. You know, they were very kind to animals and loved the animals. They did not kill them and eat them. Okay, so that's just a little part of you know that, and the beginning of this show, Star Thought, which is gonna probably go pretty far. So I wanted to when I was doing the other shows like Planet Everything Radio and Maligno's Ritual Workshop, I stopped because I didn't want to talk about this anymore. But it's a thing because of the energy that the whole world shifts on a Sunday, and Sunday morning, Sunday school. I remember, oh man, when I was a little kid, right? I used to go to Sunday school, and they always had cookies and all kinds of things over there, you know. And so one day I went up, and they had a little coffee, and you could make coffee, you make tea, and all the kids, they weren't even allowed to touch the cookies, the cake, nothing. They weren't allowed to touch nothing. And I went right over to that shit, and they were like, "Hey, you're not supposed to touch this." And I don't know who it was, one of maybe my brother's girlfriends or something. They were like, "He's allowed to have it." Or maybe it was my sister. I don't know. I think about it. She sometimes gets snappy like that. But I was like, "Oh, you can have, you let him leave him alone," you know. And they were like, "Oh man," and I was drinking. She's like, "You can't have that coffee." And my family thought, the world was full of shit when they were like, "Oh, if you give your child coffee, we're gonna call child services," or whatever the fuck it was. Sorry for the f bomb, but whatever it was, you know. Boy, my mouth got really dry. So the thing was that when I drank that coffee and had that little cookie, I was so happy, And the lady looked at me, but you know what's crazy? It's like for the rest of the time in church, I I would look at that lady and smile at her, and she didn't even look at me. She hated my guts, hated me because why? Because I was allowed to have some, but really, maybe that jealousy. Oh, I wish when I was 3 years old, I was allowed to do those things. I got my ass whipped for that, but it was even deeper than that. Is the fact that um, I think all the children are scared of this lady, and I wasn't scared of her. I was nice to her, and that's what she was thriving off of, I guess, for a very long time in the church. Because I didn't go to church till I was like 3 or 4 years old with my family, and so um, I would not forget that lady. But I felt bad for her later on in life. But anyway, um, I love the idea of church in the sense of people being together, being like family. But that's in every church, you know. You have a church that the people go to all the time. You might not see them today because I'm going to tell you something. Something that really bothers me. It bothers me a lot because it's something you got to get over. You can't do anything about it. Do you know that in America, in certain states, it is illegal to hug each other in church? And that's why I refuse to even go. You're telling me that I see I'm older now, but if a teacher was old and she was a teacher from Sunday school, that I can't go up to her and give her a hug, or the pastor? Get the hell out of here. When I see a pastor, I'm going to hug that pastor. That's not America. That's not America at all. Because the story was that a little kid gave a hug to another little kid and got in trouble. What is wrong with you? To charge a family, to charge a child. What has happened to this world? People get in trouble because of a hug? That's what's wrong with this world. I feel sorry for people. I feel sorry because this is supposed to be God, the love of God, and God is love, right? Where in the world did that change? What happened? When I was going to church, I was so fucking happy when I would see my friends and they would hug me. And it was real. It was real. They were really happy to see me and I was really happy to see them. Do you know what that's like? Do you know what that feels like? That's a beautiful feeling. And to now to say that you can't do that, then what is the sense? Because you know what? Everybody can be great and holy on their own. You don't need nobody for that. It's the sense of being human and having people that you see a person, hey, what's up, fulano? Hey, Jamie. Hey, Sandra. Right? Tom, you big jerk, what's up? It's a little heartbreaking. But today is Easter. And today is the celebration of something that was told, which I believe there's a lot of truths to a lot of stories. But how and why is what it is, you know? And so the story was that a man was arrested because he said that he's God or that his father is God. And he said it in front of the Sanhedrin, as the story goes on in the Bible. Made it more of a Hebrew thing, which, you know, I think there was many of these, figures, because it seemed like he was on a mission, right? And that's what they hated. You know, we were just talking about if Jesus was black or if he was brown or if he was white. You know, I said, "Oh, Jesus," and they say all these things. No, he wasn't. You know, you know what? Let me tell you something. The whole reason why they took out a guy who was going around healing people and giving people food and making things for them because he knows how to make things and help them with their houses is because he was a guy who knew. He was cognizant. He was awake, but he could feel things and he could do things. He knew how to. He knew how to do things, certain things. And he was a guy that was just like awake and could, he knew his chakras. He knew how to heal. He knew how to, say things, help people, like a prophet. But how? Why did he have all these powers? Was that true? See, a lot of people will be like, oh, we already know the story's not true because of the fairy tale part. It's not a fairy tale. Because today we have people that do those things. Surely, definitely, I don't know about walking on water, raising the dead, feeding 5,000 people at once. I figured if I had enough money, I could do all those things. But I could do certain things, like heal people, remove infection, remove pain, remove things that are happening, what's going on with the person, So that stuff is true. It's that who he was, what he looked like, where did he come from, all that shit is bullshit. All that shit is bullshit. Why and this and that. To be honest with you, for them to say that they got a whole bunch of Roman soldiers to fucking arrest and want to kill a guy that was supposedly Jewish because he said that he's God sounds like a lie. Okay, and that this show is not to fucking come like sound like I'm coming against this thing. No, we're just fixing it. We're fixing. Look at where he came from. Look at what was going on. Okay? He was a very dark skinned man that can do things that nobody else could. And people, they, you know, when a person comes along and does these things, they don't care. They're like, oh, if the person is a certain race, they want to put that person up high. But once a person is dark skinned, they don't want that person to be seen because they don't want people to see greatness in dark skinned people. And that's why they destroyed people. That's why they did it, whether it was political or whatever. You know, this guy had nothing to do with religion, had nothing to do with all these things. All those other things are lies. It had to do with the fact that he was helping people. They were actually starting to help themselves and turn their whole life around and do different things. And it was spreading like dominoes. It wasn't just because they said that he healed somebody and they started believing in God. That's not true. That's not it. It was that he was a person that wasn't from the family and the bloodlines of all those people in the Sanhedrin. And definitely not in Rome. Okay, so and that's why we're gonna take a little break. But before we do, there's a little special, you know. Um, give me a second. Oh man. Well, anyway, it says to them that are righteous, that bring people to righteousness, that search out for people and bring them to a point of changing their lives, being good, they shall shine brighter than the firmament and the stars. I think the beginning goes, they that are wise. But it's okay, it doesn't matter. But it's Daniel 12:13 or 3, something like that. And it's amazing. Amazing words. You know, encouraging words to those who always help people.